This is the Simulation Football League, presented by APM Music on YouTube. The 22nd season continues at breakneck speed. Week 6 is already upon us, and with it, a chance for these two clubs to continue their excellent recent form. It's the Minnesota Legend taking on the Carolina Skyhawks. Good evening, folks. I'm Tyler Falk, with Ron Haynes and Stephen Hacker on stats, and SFL Commissioner Cameron Irvine producing. I am joined by a man who needs no further introduction, SFL Hall of Famer Eddie Gage.
SFL Nation, what up, though? We got a good one tonight. I don't know what about you guys, but Carolina, after losing 3 straight, have not gone on to win 2 straight. Minnesota, after losing their first game, has won 3 in a row themselves. Someone's win streak is going to come to an end, and I think it's going to all come down to the defense.
As a defensive mind yourself, Eddie, you would know, as Minnesota will come out in their retro look as Carolina is in their striking all blues as we are set for kickoff here in Week 6 from David A. Richardson Memorial Stadium. The Skyhawks will kick it off to the Legend to begin matters here. As here we go from David A. It's a deep kickoff and will bound into the back of the end zone down for a touchback. And that is where the Minnesota Legend offense comes out onto the field, led by quarterback Johnny Bravo, who has had a touchdown pass thrown in 5 consecutive games.
Impressive.
Will the streak continue here today? We're about to find out. 2 wide receivers off to his left and an I formation behind him. He gives it off to the man who got the winning touchdown a week ago, Mr. Colin Hart. And let's meet the rest of that halfback's offensive friends alongside Colin Hart. It's Isaac Knox at halfback alongside Justin Williams at fullback. Wide receivers are Jay Taylor, Deezer Powell, T. DeQueen, and Queg Mam. Tight ends are Jason France and Robert Henson Jr. And on the line, it's Trey Hyman, Axel Raven, Brookie Burr, Dusty Wilson, and Ruthie Raven, as that pass over the middle, intended for Jason France, is denied, incomplete.
Great defense by Carolina, able to contain Jason France. He was missed last week as he got hurt in the first quarter of that ball game. They turned out to get the win, but their offense definitely missed his presence.
And so quickly now we come out to a 3rd and 9. From the 21-yard line, bunch set right. Here comes the pass from Reno. It's in and out of the hands of Jay Taylor as the Sky Gang defense comes up with an early 3 and out.
Speaking of defense, Tyler, Carolina in the past has been known to be passive-aggressive on defense. Not that time around. They didn't just sit back there and wait for something to happen. They came out there and made it happen and forced this punt.
And usually when we talk about Minnesota or Minnesotans in general, it's usually that Minnesota ice mentality where they're passive-aggressive in terms of speaking to one another. Carolina is taking that mantra and giving it right back to the Minnesota Legend, at least on drive number 1, as that return goes for a minimal gain, and out comes the Skyhawk offense led by Matt South, who has hit a little bit of the injury bug. Eddie Gage, 9 interceptions, only 5 touchdowns.
Yes, but, a lot of that happened early on. They have gotten things a bit together. Speaking with head coach Harish Prasad, he said that's one thing they focused on this week was eliminating those turnover bugs.
And Matt South will start in pretty good field position with 3 wideouts and an offset eye behind him. Quick drop, 5-man rush, and it's caught. Quick hitter underneath, a gain of 7 to start matters here to Riley Quintero.
Riley Quintero, an entirely different matchup than what Cody Griffin faced last week. He contained Gabriel Amanda and made him look human. This time he's going up against a 5'11 wide receiver. He's got his work cut out for him.
From a spread look, they come out in more of a power run formation. 2 tight ends and 2 backs, and they hand off to Ike McBride, who will easily pick up the first down.
And this is exactly what Carolina wants to do. Once they get the ball in their hands on offense, they just methodically work the ball downfield, chewing up a lot of clock, keeping that defense fresh.
Back to the spread look. here on this first down, and they will run this time, trying to go up the middle with Harish Prasad. The former wide receiver turned halfback is taken down by Mark Mello. And let's introduce you to the rest of that Carolina offense. We've mentioned Matt South, the quarterback, Harish Prasad and Ike McBride at halfback, with Hattori Hanzo at fullback. Riley Quintero, Chris Curtis, Christian Bachagalupe, and Chase Earl are the wideouts, with Vince DeSantis at tight end. And on the line, it's Kate Palmer, Chris Cross, and Ricky Rigatone. We're on the 2nd and 9, too wide. Another offset eye look here behind Matt South.
Here comes the blitz.
6 down linemen for Minnesota, and they will send all of them. And they will get to South in the backfield in a hurry. They didn't leave anybody back there to help Matt. And that is where Shin Yoneda comes up with his first career sack.
Saw it pre-snap, Tyler. They were coming off the edge. The safety and the outside linebacker did not hesitate. In these moments, Matt South has got to call an audible and change the pass protection.
The rookie out of San Jose only had 1 tackle in the season so far. He comes up with his first career sack on his only 2nd career tackle. Play action, South rolling, catches the corner off guard and launches it over 2 defenders, but just a little bit too high for the 5'11 Quintero.
Great defense by Minnesota on 3rd down, containing Wale Quintero, making that a tough catch. That had to have been a perfect pass for it to come down in his arms.
So partner 2 drives, and these defenses basically showing up as we expected them to. Carolina's defense loves to force teams into 3rd down situations and loves to stop them. They showed it on the last drive. They're going to have to do it again here, as this punt is going to go all the way into the back of the end zone. Ryan Mormon going to be happy with that. It's actually going to be Malone Brown who's doing both punting and kicking duties. Not often we see that here, Eddie.
Not often at all. In fact, I was looking at my roster sheet to make sure changes weren't being made.
So back to the line. After a 3-and-out on drive number 1 comes the Minnesota legend. And they will go with a 3 wide receiver look, with only Colin Hart in the backfield. Quick drop, quick hitter over the middle, again looking for France. Can't haul it in. Let's introduce you to the rest of this Carolina defense. Christopher Colon, Levant Irvine, Phil Hall, and May Carter are the defensive linemen, with Trevon Prasad and Mojo McLean alongside Danny Stinson at linebacker. David St. Joseph and Tristan Hatley are the 2 lone corners alongside 4 safeties: Ibari Aman England, Chris Delro, Skippy Curtis, and J.C. Wallace. 4-3 look out of Carolina as Minnesota go back to pass, and getting rid of it is Reno quickly, and again looking for France. Still cannot connect with the big tight end.
I didn't get the number, but I believe it was defensive end Levant Irvine who got right up into the chest of quarterback Johnny Reno and forced him to throw that ball a bit sooner than he wanted to.
And again, Minnesota, for the 2nd straight drive, are going to be backed up on 3rd down. It's 3rd and 10. 5 wide receivers for Reno as he's under center, and the coverage backs off nearly 6 to 7 yards at least around the middle of the field. Reno pumps once and is going to be dragged down from behind. Getting off his blocks, Levant Irvine, who forced the pressure a play ago, gets a sack for his troubles.
Perhaps this time Johnny Reno was a bit confused. The last 3rd and long situation on their previous drive, Carolina played aggressive. This time they laid back and just played the sticks, forcing him to hold the ball longer than he wanted to as the play developed. And unfortunately for Johnny Reno and this Minnesota offense, his time ran out.
For Levant Irvine, he had 8 sacks coming into this season, his 9th season in the SFL. He has 3 now in just this season alone. A true testament to Levant Irvine, and he's having a breakout season.
Just shows what persistence and continuous effort, how it pays off for you. If you continue to play on through the whistle, good things happen.
Carolina's first drive started at their own 47-yard line and ended in a punt. This one will start from Minnesota's 46-yard line. We'll see if Carolina have better fortunes here. Handoff McBride as she tries to power through Meerkat and cannot. Maybe a yard for Ike as we introduce you to that legend defense. Mark Mello, Angela Meerkat, and Max Knight are the defensive linemen, with Matthew Alvarado, Jason Clay, Shin Yoneda, and Stephen Black at linebacker. At corner, it's Johnny Bravo, Nicholas Frossel, and Cody Griffin. And rounding out the order at safety, it's Derek Meerkat, Adrian Blaine, and Jubilee Marsh.
Got a safety covering a wide receiver.
Rollout, south, across his body, and connects to Chris Curtis. Curticini, as they say here in Skyhawk land, picks up a Carolina first down.
Great job by Matt South in this offense. They saw the matchups pre-snap as Minnesota was very aggressive, showing blitz. They put a man in motion. Minnesota showed their card, showed their hand, had a safety lined up over them, and that's a mismatch any day of the week.
Close to field goal range now. Handoff, McBride hitting the backfield, and she is going to lose yards. Great pursuit on the edge as Matthew Alvarado finishes off like McBride.
Live by the blitz, die by the blitz. Minnesota, talking to head coach Axel Ravens, he was going to be very aggressive this week on offense. Did not want to give the quarterback room to breathe back there. Going to have to make some quick decisions today.
Closing in on the halfway mark here of this slow-moving first quarter. South again will roll. Looking across his body again. It's Curtis again inside the 15-yard line. Here we go as Curtis leads the Skyhawks into the red zone for the first time today.
Reaching to grab the ball at his highest point. Matt South, for the second time in his drive, rolls away from the pressure, buys himself some more time to survey the field, finds Chris Curtis, hits him, and moves the chains.
20 yards from South to Curtis. Stat courtesy of legendary statistician. We've got Haynes Vision here today, folks. Ron Haynes alongside Stephen Hacker in the truck, keeping us well informed. Handoff, Prasad, left side with the stiff arm. Harish Prasad's first rushing touchdown of the season, and Carolina strike first.
I didn't think Harish was ever going to get to the end zone. That was a slow developing play as he had to run across his offensive line, but he got some great blocking on the exterior out there, including from Chris Basabalupi. Touchdown, Carolina.
First rushing touchdown, first touchdown of any kind for Harish in season 22 comes against the legend as on comes Malone Brown to tack home the extra point. Snap, spot, kick is up, and it is good. No injury for Harish this time, and it's a quick 5-play, 46-yard drive. Just under 2 minutes total time of possession. If you're new to the Simulation Football League, welcome. The SFL is football for everyone. Get off the sideline and start your player today by joining our Discord server at simulationfl.net. Click the Join the Community button and begin your career, or just to meet the stars of the SFL on and off the field. It's never too late to get involved as Brown's kick again goes out of bounds. We again start at the 20-yard line for Minnesota, and so far, partner, it's been field position which has hurt Minnesota dearly.
Yes, it has, as Carolina capitalized on that field position on this last drive. Minnesota does not want to get behind. They need to find a way to strike and strike quickly on this drive.
Both teams come riding in 3-game either away runs or home stands. This is the final game for both clubs in their respective stands, as a quick 4-yard scamper is gained by Sam Gash. That brings up 2nd and 6.
Justin Williams is a man's man, 6'4", 260. Not a guy you want to look forward to tackling several times a game, coming right up the A-gap.
Goal line eye here on 2nd down. Another handoff with blockers in front of Colin Hart, and he pushes forward for a Minnesota first down.
And this was what Axel Raven wants to do. He wants to keep a balanced offense, give them a steady diet of the run game. And just when they fall asleep napping, thinking about the run game, the ball's going over the secondary's head for a big completion.
Just try and wear you down, make your defense tired, and then strike when the iron's hot. Split backfield now behind Reno. Again, the give. This time to Knox, and he will get hit by May Carter and company. Only a gain of 1.
Isaac Knox, a rookie, Minnesota lined up in a split spread formation, but they got the receiver lined in tight. If he's going to the outside, he's probably going to pick up about 4 or 5 yards, Tyler.
Spread look now on 2nd and long. Here for Johnny Reno, who is 0 for 4 passing in just the early going. Still plenty of time to fix it as he will pass this time. And that's the first completion. Finding Deezer Powell for a gain of about 5 yards. And that will bring up 3rd down again.
These quick hitters, something I've seen Minnesota employ with their offense these first few weeks of the season.
Outside corners giving plenty of respect to those wide receivers, and they will run instead up the middle. Carolina gets right. Mojo McClain forces down the ball carrier, and it's 3 3rd down attempts for Minnesota. No conversions.
I don't mind a decision, running your fullback up the gap in a passing situation, looking to catch Carolina napping, but Carolina, to their credit, stayed on.
They usually convert around 7 out of 13 per game, and that return gets blown up before it could even get started. Isaac Knox hits Christian Bachagalupe, the former legend, down at the 28-yard line. Out come the Skyhawks again. They were able to get a touchdown last time, partner, but this is the deepest they've been backed up in their own territory to start their own drive.
Yes, it is, but right now they're playing with the lead, something they definitely want to do with their play style of offense.
Ike McBride is motioned out of the backfield. Here on 1st down on 2 minutes, 34 seconds to go. Here in quarter number 1, South has to get rid of it. And looking for McBride, can't connect. Cody Griffin was there, and it falls incomplete.
Cody Griffin, this defense showed the blitz, backed out of it, and Matt South made the wrong read, and lucky for him, his receiver was able to get up off the turf.
Cody with 1 interception. Now his 4th pass deflection on the season. They'll go back to the run, will the Carolina Skyhawks offense, and only a yard for McBride. Matthew Alvarado in on another stop. We see this early and often in football games for this Minnesota linebacker. He loves fighting for the ball carrier.
Started his career in Queen City, migrated over to Mexico City, and he seems to have found a home here in Minnesota.
Minnesota's DB is playing about 3 yards off the wide receivers. Outside blitz coming. South gets rid of it, looking, and it's caught by Alvarado for Minnesota, and back the other way comes the linebacker. We just talked about him, and he shows up in a big way to get Minnesota's hopes back a-kindling.
Did you see how fast he backed up on his back pedal and got into coverage? I was surprised he was able to get there so quickly, but get there he did, and he finds the football, locates it, and picks it off. Great coverage skills for a linebacker.
And that will give Minnesota their best starting field position at the 22-yard line. Now, can this offense, which so far today has struggled to move the football, capitalize on this good starting field position? They start with 3 wide receivers. Nickel look out of Carolina. Reno will look to throw, and he rolls across his body, and it's nearly intercepted twice by a diving Shravan Prasad.
And I was just giving Shravan an earful in my mind because he missed the chip block and allowed their receiver a free release. I thought that was going to be a completion for a 1st down, but he stayed disciplined, did not lose his containment, and almost came up with an interception.
Reno struggles continue. The Sky Gang defense not letting anything easy by him. Reno with time, looking right, and that is caught.
Touchdown.
And fighting into the end zone is T. Queen. Touchdown, Minnesota.
T. the Queen over from Seattle has been making plays for this Minnesota offense all season long. They love having her here on the team. She said she loves the locker room, and that right there, I don't care who you are, what cornerback is back there. Not even Nate Hassel can hold on to a receiver that long. The defensive line has got to get home.
T had 2 touchdowns, one in each of the first 2 games. Didn't have a single score since then until now. And that puts Minnesota back level again with Carolina. 7-7 our score. Quick to play. 21-yard touchdown reception. Tita Queen. Just under 2 to go in quarter 1.
Nice way for Minnesota to fight back after getting a left hook to the body early on in this contest.
Here comes a return from Bacigalupe. Down the left hash mark. Nice little stiff arm and finally tackled at the 28-yard line. So out comes Matt South, partner. We talked about limiting those turnovers for Matt South. He throws a pick, which leads to a Minnesota score. Needs to refocus and get his team back down the field again.
Yes, they do. Don't want to get away from your offense. Do what has gotten you to this point with this current winning streak of yours.
One tight end, 2 backs in the backfield here for South on the first play of the drive. Here comes Alvarado off the edge. South looking near side. It's caught somehow. Riley Quintero with the Houdini catch. Moves the chains.
I'm not sure how Riley caught that pass, but Minnesota came out and defended this pass the exact same way that they came that last time Carolina came out in this strong pro look, tight end off to the right side of the quarterback. Stayed disciplined, but wow, you want to talk about a magnificent catch. I'm not sure how that pass was not at least deflected, Tyler.
He gets the catch nearly off of Cody Griffin's backside, and Griffin just caught off guard with his back to the football, unable to get a hand on it. And Carolina are back on the other side of midfield. Blitz coming, hitter over the middle, looking for Earl. It's still bobbled up, and it falls inexplicably to the turf. We nearly saw a catch from the quarterback, and I think that was backup quarterback Dave Dickinson with the pass.
Max Knight had a chance at an interception, but he was too busy trying to gather himself, falling to the turf.
So now on second down, South back in at quarterback. The nickel look from Minnesota, 5-man rush, South rolling, throws it near side, and nearly found Quintero again in double coverage.
Anytime the quarterback has to hold on to the ball that long after a 3-step drop, you know you're in trouble. Minnesota stayed home with their zone defense and came up with a magnificent play.
And a sore spot for Minnesota today has been third down. 0 of 3 so far. For Carolina, it's just the same. 0 of 2 on third down. Play action. South tried to run, and he is stapled to the turf. Nothing doing. Max Knight says night-night.
Max Knight said good night because Matt South is lucky to get off the turf. My, you talk about a big man. I mean, all this momentum falling on your chest. My goodness, Matt South, someone get that man some medical attention.
I'm surprised there isn't a permanent indentation of quarterbacks when Max Knight tackles one, because it always seems they go down hard, they go down fast, and there's little to no stopping the 350-pounder defensive tackle when he wants to fumble out of bounds. Minnesota will retain the possession, but a scary moment for Tita Queen.
Scary indeed. Turnovers are momentum changers.
So Minnesota quickly breathed a sigh of relief and come to the field with 5 wide receivers on first down. Reno open as Deezer Powell with plenty of room, 12-yard pickup.
Minnesota on the road, and Carolina came out very shaky on offense until that turnover. Now, this offense seems to have settled in. Johnny Reno has gotten his feet wet a bit, and this offense has settled down. Carolina has got to find a way to get that momentum back.
The end of the quarter quickly approaches here for Minnesota and Carolina. What will the legend come up with here on this
Look out.
play? Dump off near side. Williams with the lowering of his shoulder, and we see that so often throughout his career.
Check down as Carolina was bringing heat. Reno did a great job finding his outlet receiver. Picks up 6 yards.
It's been a good one here in quarter number 1. 7 apiece with two teams not wanting to give up their win streaks. We'll be back in just a moment. This is SFL football. Aerial coverage of today's game is provided by Dags DroneWorks, aerial photography and videography services for real estate, events, marketing, and in case you're Josh Circle, funerals, and more. Learn more at dagsdroneworks.com. As we welcome you back to David A. Richardson Memorial Stadium here in Carolina. Happy to have your company, Tyler Falk and Hall of Famer Eddie Gage here on the call with Stephen Hacker and Ron Haynes in the stats truck, and of course SFL Commissioner Cameron Irvine back in studios. We're hoping to hear a game break here soon from Charleston and LA, both winless teams looking to prove something here in week 6. We'll get you updates as they become available. That run goes for minimal game, Eddie.
Minimal game gonna set up a 3rd down. Danny Stinson did a great job of filling the hole, found the gap, attacked it, and brought Justin Williams down after a gain of only a yard.
Now 3rd and 3 for Minnesota. Can they break their 3rd down woes? Blitz coming. Reno, left side, open as Powell, right around the 50-yard line, and that is sorely needed for Minnesota. First 3rd down conversion for either team.
Both defenses continue to bring pressure on the quarterback. Johnny Reno stood his ground, found his receiver, and hit him for a 1st down conversion.
And had it not been for Ruthie Raven up the middle, who catches Danny Stinson coming through the A-gap, partner, I think we're talking about Reno flat on his back right about now. Great play from the right tackle, or the right guard, excuse me. As Reno will roll on 1st down and fire and cut. There's Williams moving the chains again for a good gain of 16.
Former Scorpion Justin Williams showing why he should have been an all-star last season. Not only can he run the ball up the A-gap, but he can travel downfield, not just on routes out to the flat, but he can run vertical as well. Shows his great hands, get both hands on the ball, and move the chains.
Williams is still looking, partner, for his first all-star call in 6 seasons. He has done phenomenal work, especially with your club, the Scorpions, now here in Minnesota, showing why he should be an all-star again. Pass, Stinson with the deflection, and the defense can't rally behind it and pick it up. What a play from the middle linebacker, however.
That's the 3rd time this game we've seen Danny Stinson come out here and make a great play. But I think as great as that play was, he prohibited his corner, his teammate, from coming up with that interception.
Second down now for Minnesota as the defensive line for Carolina shift over. Quick drop, quick throw, good catch near the marker, and they will give it to the Queen. A 1st down for the legend.
Cover 3 look, and Carolina actually played this pretty well. They guessed right, but it was just better offense as Minnesota continues to find small gaps in these passing lanes.
They caught the DB's partner on the back foot, backpedaling on that quick pass. Maybe they were expecting something deeper, and that's how Reno was able to find the Queen for that short pass. Just around 8 minutes to go now in the 2nd quarter. Handoff Hart. We've seen very little of Hart on the ground today as he picks up 7 yards. He's just right around, well, yeah, good decent little yards. 16 yards in total today, partner.
Great block by Justin Williams to get him 7 yards, too.
Longest run of the game. Now it's 2nd and 3 from inside the red zone for Minnesota. 4 down linemen, 2 DBs on the outside. Here comes one of them, and they guessed right. Off of the Abari Aman England strong safety blitz. They come up with the stop on Isaac Knox.
Yeah, and Isaac can tell he's a rookie because he should have hit the A-gap and picked up at least 2 yards. He was a bit hesitant, taking too long to make a decision.
And again, they will put Aman England near right on the line of scrimmage. Will they send him again? They will. Reno has to get rid of it, and turning around is France, and he tried to find the pass and couldn't. And still 4 targets, four unrecepted passes for Jason Franz. This is unheard of.
It is, and you just took the words out of my mouth, because he has yet to bring in a catch today. And after being out early last week, you figured he'd be chomping at the bit to get involved.
Snap spot. Here comes the field goal attempt from Malillo, who has been perfect on the season and remains perfect. That completes the long 11-play, 68-yard drive after the 36-yard field goal, and Minnesota reclaim their lead. Liking the game so far? Smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. The SFL produces over 400 events a year. There is no one else that gives you more football. Don't miss a minute of SFL or SFL minor league action, and help the channel grow through your support. Wind certainly howling in the direction where Carolina is trying to drive against partner, and it might just go, if they want to retie up this football game, partner, they're going to have to get maybe to the 25-yard line at least.
Yeah, 7:15 left in this first half, and they want to get some momentum going. It's been a while since they've scratched the scoreboard.
Handoff, McBride through the middle. Colorado is there after a 3-yard pickup, and like you said, partner, Carolina haven't scored since the 4th drive in the ball game. It was a good drive in general. Curtis with a couple of, nearly 20-yard receptions, which helped move this team down the field. But since then, they really haven't been able to find anyone. 3-play drive, another 3 and out for Carolina, and now there's this one. And they go on the ground. Michael Bennett, the backup tailback, gains no yards. In fact, might even lose one.
Minnesota put 8 men in the box. Matt South has to realize that and called an audible to make them pay for such decisions.
Saw it on the give last time as he exits the field of play. For now, out comes McBride with 4 wide receivers on 3rd down. Play action. South in trouble again. Nicholas Frossel makes a fossil out of Matt South.
3 times they've called this play action out of this trade look, and I don't think they completed a pass yet. They got to find something else if they're going to have success against this Minnesota 3rd and long defense.
Last 5 passing attempts for Matt South since the touchdown drive. He is 1 of 5 passing, and that sack brings up a 3 and out for Carolina, as this will be a fair catch called for inside Carolina territory.
Yeah.
Carolina going to start again in excellent field position. The story of the day so far.
Field position and turnovers.
Now from the 45-yard line, another drive begins here for Minnesota. Blitz from the edge as Hart gets the call, and he does well enough with the defender running and nipping at his heels to get back to the line of scrimmage.
That was a perfectly timed blitz by Carolina. Dotted up perfectly.
Now it seems Carolina's defense will back off. They only send 4 on 2nd down. Quick header underneath. It is caught, and shuffling forward for the first down for Minnesota was the Queen. And it'll be a 1st down regardless of the penalty.
Pass interference, and actually Carolina had that played pretty well. They wanted Jason Franz, but he was covered like a blanket, and instead looked to the Queen, who was also covered well, but she came up with that reception despite that traffic.
So it's a 1st down for the legend at the Carolina 33. A 12-yard penalty brings them closer to that red zone. 3-step drop, Reno. One-handed snag by Deezer Powell. And I'm calling it now, partner. That is our Retroid Nice Hands catch of the game, brought to you by Retroid. Put a Retroid handheld in your hands and play the only video game with your player in it. SFL 4K23, a spectacular one-handed nonchalant snag.
Nonchalant snag in traffic. And we talked about it on the last drive. Minnesota's offense started off slow, but since then, Johnny Reno has heated up.
Be a fullback dive, and Williams this time has to take his own medicine as Danny Stinson takes him down.
Second down and 8. Carolina needs to keep Minnesota behind the chains.
Jason France up near side, looking over the middle, however, and it's in the hands of the Powell, but the hit from Stinson jars the ball free.
You know, that ball fell incomplete, but I like the decision by Johnny Reno. He had traffic all around him, but kept his head up, found his target, but unfortunately the ball was jarred loose. Third down and 8. Big down for both teams.
And they come out with 4 wide receivers. Minnesota have only converted on 1 down, that being at the beginning of this second quarter. Last time they were here, they had a field goal. They're looking for more points now. Looking middle, end zone,
Touchdown.
caught! Jay Taylor, touchdown, Minnesota legend.
You know, you want to talk about concentration. Jay Taylor knew he was going to get hit. It was a bang-bang play, but he wanted that touchdown more than he wasn't worried about absorbing that contact. That's a man's man, and all of a sudden, don't look now, but this game is starting to get away from Carolina here at home.
And it's not the sight you would have wanted if you're a Skyhawks fan. This tough Minnesota team who has been on the road for the last 2 games, taking down the likes of Los Angeles and Tulsa on the road, looking to make it a very productive road run and string together 3 away wins in the season. That's a mark that signifies you are a fantastic franchise and looking for the playoffs.
Well coached as well.
That ball will fly out of the back of the end zone. Another touchback and another drive for Carolina starting on their 20-yard line. Things have to change, partner. They cannot afford to dig themselves a deeper hole by not scoring points.
4:21 left in this first half. You do not want to end this first half without putting points on the board on this drive.
Last drive ended in a sack as McBride cuts it back inside, is picked up and dropped after a gain of 2 yards. Jason Clay, credit him with a tackle.
We saw Ike McBride take that same run and pick up about 7 yards early in the ball game, but since then, Minnesota has read that script before, and they've adapted to it.
Carolina in their standard blues and white helmets. Minnesota rocking their new Shy style throwbacks. Shy being S-H-Y, not to be confused with Shy in a city over in Illinois, as another run goes for minimal yards.
Third down and 6. Carolina has got to find a way to convert here.
I formation here on third down. Spread look 3 wide here for the Skyhawks. 5-man rush, late safety blitz, pass middle, double coverage. South is going to be very fortunate that Adrian Blaine didn't pick him off there, and instead another 3 and out. That makes back-to-back 3 and outs for the Skyhawks.
And with 3.5 minutes left in this first half, Minnesota has an opportunity to put even more points on the board to close out this first half.
And the punt is away from kicker-punter Malone Brown. Here comes the return here for Minnesota. Getting out of a tackle is DeQueen, and finally taken down at the 47-yard line. And so Minnesota, partner, well, you can't really polish off a game in the first half, but if things continue the way they are, a scoring drive here might just do so.
I mean, you want to talk about putting your stamp on this first half. If Minnesota can find a way to put up points, I don't care if it's a touchdown or a field goal, they would be doing just that.
The Skyhawk defense, which has played so well this season, only allowing at most, besides week 1 versus Tulsa, let that be the outlier, 24 points to the DC Dragons. All others points. In fact, the last 2 games in the wins, 17 points and 12 points to Alamo City and Vancouver, respectively. But today, Minnesota's endangering that good record.
They are. I mean, we got a lot of football left. They're only down 10, but they've got to get their act together here soon.
The offensive numbers for these 2 teams in clear favor of Minnesota. They've been able to get the ball moving, especially when it counts. But this defense for Carolina not going to make it easy. Isaac Knox, the rookie, struggling to find traction here on the road.
Trevon Prasad assisting on that tackle. Caught his name a couple times today. They need him to step as a defensive end and put pressure on the quarterback and get this Minnesota offense off the field.
3rd and 5 for the legend. Reno, deep pass, middle, open is Jay Taylor. Nothing that Skippy Curtis could do about it. Minnesota moved the chains on a nearly 20-yard pass.
We were talking about Trevon on that previous play. You can't blame him because he got to the quarterback in a heartbeat. But unfortunately for Carolina, that soft coverage did not allow him, Johnny Reno, to hold the ball. And Minnesota's going to move the chains again.
Only 2 catches for Taylor, but they have come at the most impactful times. His first being in the touchdown, the second being a 3rd down, which moves him closer and deeper into Carolina territory. As that will take us to the 2-minute warning here in the first half. 17-7, Legend out on top on the road. Can they put more points on the board, or will the Sky Gang stop them? This is SFL football. Two to play here in quarter number 2. Tyler Falk and Eddie Gage here on the call. Stephen Hacker and Ron Haynes in the stats. And our producer is the SFL Commissioner Cameron Irvine. Pass out of its break is finally to France. 17 yards for Jason France on his first catch of the game and 5 targets.
Carolina brought pressure on the outside again, but great job by the offensive line as well as those halfbacks in the backfield, giving Johnny Reno time he needed to let that play to develop and find his big tight end.
That'll move Minnesota back into the red zone where they had a touchdown on their last drive that ended here. Reno looking for the end zone again, and it's a great deflection from Stinson. He has been the stalwart and go-to man on this defense.
He has. He and Trevon Prasad have made plays throughout this first half, but they're going to need their teammates to step up too.
Second deflection of the game on a pass that was desperately looking for the end zone. Minute 31 to go. Reno back under center, 2 tight ends off to his left. Reno looking left side. Viva la France! Touchdown, Minnesota! Jason France comes alive in the 2-minute drill.
And I'm certain that Carolina's coaching staff has noticed it as well, but they've been playing the same coverage out of this 4-3 look the entire first half. When they come out in the 4-4, they've been blitzing, falling back in the zone coverage, all kinds of things, and confusing this Minnesota offense. But whenever they're in this 4-3 look, they continue to call this 3 robber, and they continue to find ways to make them pay for it.
And just when you needed the outside corner to go back more and cover that area of the field, they creep up expecting something underneath. And unfortunately, Minnesota gets another score, 24-7 after a 6-play, 52-yard drive. And now Carolina is in a 3-score hole.
It's ugly right now, but there's still time for them to make adjustments, but they got to find a way to get into the half, settle down, rally the troops, and come up with a different game plan.
They have all 3 timeouts. They will get the ball to start the second half, but this being one of the shorter kickoffs Maybe this will spark something out of Carolina. It's a decent return from Chase Earl up to the 26-yard line. That is where Carolina will begin this drive.
Like you said, they do have all 3 timeouts. First down predicates pretty much everything you do from here on out. Let's see how aggressive they get here.
Try and run your normal offense and take as much clock off so that Minnesota theoretically can't have too much time if they were to get the ball? Or do you try and go deep down the field? It seems like they go with McBride up the right side, gaining only 3. Alvarado is there again. And it seems like Carolina, knowing they get the ball to start with the ball in the second half, they will just be content with seeing the clock wind down. Clock does tick under a minute to go here in the half. South back on the line, though. DeSantis in motion. Seen very little out of the tight end. Doesn't have a target yet in the ball game. South might look for him here. Pass middle. Looks for DeSantis. But so did the defender, Derek Meerkat.
The secondary of Minnesota allows them to do different things underneath. And they didn't so much do it that time. They played pretty much sound discipline. But I can see why now Minnesota's so comfortable blitzing, because their secondary is pretty darn impressive.
Adrian Blaine, Derek Meerkat, Johnny Bravo, Cody Griffin, Nicholas Frasu came up with a great play on the last drive. So many big names, and they're training up the next group, the next batch. Jubilee Marsh is waiting in the wings there as safety as South rolls out on third down, firing across his body. It's into triple coverage. Ball will fall to the turf, but it just seems like South is desperate for anything to help this team move down the football field, and now they're 0 of 6 on third down.
This time, Minnesota kept the strong side safety in the box, taking away anything over the intermediate middle of the field, and there just are no answers right now for this passing game.
Low snap. Brown scoops it up and punts this one away. Here comes the Queen on the return. She looked like she was going to break one out on the last return, and she is corralled near the 50-yard line. Marker down on Minnesota's 48-yard line. So while Carolina was more passive-aggressive, Minnesota might look, with the 32 seconds to go, partner, at all 3 timeouts, they might look to be aggressive and really pile on the pain.
2 yards shy of their side of the field. I don't blame them.
Deep drop, hitter left side, Jason France. 3 consecutive passes, 3 consecutive catches for Jason France, who has really stepped up. He loves this 2-minute warning.
Yes, he does. And right now, Minnesota's offense, as slow as they started, has been impressive ever since. Ace look this time.
2nd and 4 here for the legend. They will look to pass out of it. Dump off Williams underneath, who fights long up the sideline with Shrevon Prasad. He's taken down short of the marker. Minnesota call their 2nd timeout. It'll be 3rd and short upcoming.
I like how they subbed in Justin Williams in that situation. He's on the field again here on 3rd down.
A big body may be used in pass block support or little checkdowns where you need a little extra mass to power through a good tackler like Prasad.
There you go.
2 tight ends, 2 wideouts here for Reno. Looking at fantastic deflection from Ibari Ahmed England, who climbed the ladder, jumped nearly as in his height, nearly 6 feet in the air to deflect that pass.
Yeah, and that pass had a chance to get deflected by a defensive lineman, too. I'm not sure how that pass got through there. And look at here. We're going for it on 4th down.
4th and 2, 19 seconds. Minnesota up by 3 scores. They're looking to go for it. They are going to snap it. 4th down. Jay Taylor picks up the 1st down. Talk about gutsy. Talk about let's pile on our momentum. Let's keep the pressure on. and they will run with heart up the middle. He gets close to the 35-yard line, under 5 seconds to go. Minnesota call their third and final timeout, and here comes Mickey Malillo.
I think it's going to be a Hail Mary attempt.
Indeed it is. Mickey called back in to the sideline.
Oh.
2nd and 7. I formation. Only one wide receiver with 4 seconds to go. And they will run with heart up the middle. He is stopped, and Minnesota can't get back to the line, and that is going to do it for the half, which deserved more, partner. The legend come up with a 4th down conversion, but get nothing from it.
Got nothing from it, but they kept the ball out of Matt South's hands. And right now, Carolina is just looking for answers, and Minnesota is not giving them the test questions, because all day, from the first drive, they were held in check. The second drive, they were held in check. But since then, Axel Raven and company came over and pulled Johnny Reno to the side and say, listen here, young man, Carolina is in the midst of a win streak, and if we want to keep ours going, you got to find a way to get your head out your tushy and get this thing figured out. And since then, he's come out and did just that. A quarterback rating of 122.3, going into the half with 3 touchdown passes. Are you kidding me? This man started out looking like he was a deer in headlights, but since then, this offense has figured things out. The offensive line has given him the time he needed to find his receivers, and Minnesota's offense is just cooking right now.
3 touchdowns, obviously the player of the game here, partner, but the big question was Jason France ever going to get a pass? He catches 3 in a row, and let alone a touchdown. The big ask here for Carolina. Can they turn their offense around? Can they convert at least 1 3rd down today? A team which has, over the course of this season, partner, done a fantastic job on 3rd down. But today, Minnesota has been their kryptonite. And will that change as Minnesota kick us off to begin the second half? And here comes Christian Bachagalupe from inside his own territory. It's a great return up to the 41-yard line. That might be the start, the kickstart that Carolina need.
You can tell how loud these fans got. They appreciated it. He didn't go east and west. He just went right up the middle of the field, found a seam, and got all he could. And Carolina has great starting field position to start this second half.
Carolina's drives, last 3 consecutive, all ending on 3-play punts. 3 plays and a punt. Will number 4 and the first one of the half be a better one? That is a much better run for Mike McBride.
I agree, and it's because she went right up the A gap. They need to get rid of her going east and west. She's a big, powerful, bruising running back, and I like it best when they send her straight up the A gap.
Ties her game-high 5-yard gain. 2nd and 5 now with Harish Prasad in the backfield. They will go to him, more of that east and west flare, and he fights forward to about the 50-yard line. A good little drive forming here, but here comes another 3rd down for Carolina.
Well, this time it's 3rd and short, very manageable situation. The entire playbook is on the table.
Heavy look out of the Carolina offense, only 4-3 out of Minnesota's defense. They back off, and Ike McBride with the stiff arm continues pushing forward to about the 43-yard line. That'll move the chains, and Carolina pick up the first 3rd down conversion in 7 of attempts.
And the crowd can tell it's been a long time because they got very excited at that 3rd down conversion as well, Tyler.
Now can they drive down the field and make it a 10-point spread between the 2 clubs? Middle linebacker blitz, and Prasad going nowhere.
Max
the extra defender gets home as Max Nice with the blast as we send you for the first time back to SFL headquarters for a game break. Cam and Irvine, over to you.
Thank you, Tyler. Not a whole lot of offense going on in this battle of the 2 winless teams, but Nick Hoagland did get into the end zone. Charleston leads LA 13-3 at the break. Both teams have struggled to close out games. We'll see what happens in this second half. Back to you.
Thank you, Cam. As Matt Wilson would always say, someone's always got to go. And right now, Charleston looking like the team that'll do it. Oh, my goodness, Riley Quintero. Showing off.
5'11", Riley Quintero is 200 pounds even, and that's on a good day. But size does not matter for Riley. He's been doing his entire career, whether it's in the minors or here in the pros, continues to show and prove.
Looking like he's done that 1,000 times. Looked like he was picking a book off the bookshelf from the second story and comes away with an incredible snag as the Carolina offense continues to push deeper and deeper into Minnesota territory. Defense backs off, south, middle, caught, no! It looked like the receiver had it, but couldn't haul it in. That was Vince DeSantis, and it's second down.
This secondary for Minnesota is very impressive.
Nothing easy gets by them. We've seen so many of South's passes end up on the turf. Matt South only 5 of 14, 35% completion percentage, and it's credit, like you said, partner, to this defensive secondary for the Legend. Heavy blitz coming. McBride somehow sneaks away to the outside, and down goes another defender. Adrian Blaine couldn't bring McBride down, and she picks up 7.
Wow, for a minute there, I thought Ike McBride was Harish Prasad the way she hit the edge and was able to pick up 7 yards there, Tyler.
It just seems like certain play calls for Carolina look like they, no matter who's in the backfield, they either get off really quickly or it just takes so long to develop. Now they open up the A gap with Harish in the backfield. They try it up the middle,
Fumble.
and he loses the football. And Minnesota's linemen will not pick it up. They'll take down a Carolina lineman, being Kate Palmer, who picks it up, and it's 4th and 1, and they're in a challenge where Kate fell with the football.
Yeah, and that's a good challenge, I think it is, by Carolina, at least initially at first glance, because they had the first down, but when the ball was popped out, it knocked it back behind the line of scrimmage. The question is, where was the offensive lineman at on the field when he was touched down by Minnesota?
We take a crucial retroactive look at the play presented by Retroid.
That's
Get your
close.
SFL console at GoRetroid.com, and indeed, it's where the football is as the knee comes to the ground. Oh, that's tight, and Chris Cross is in the way. We're just going to have to trust the referee. It is overturned.
And
right
a first
now,
down.
It is a first down. Great challenge as Carolina's drive continues. A team which couldn't get a third down. They couldn't buy a first down in the first half, Eddie. They got 2 on this drive alone.
2 on this drive and are inside the SFL red zone looking to put points on the board.
Kate Palmer is Skippy's sister and comes up with the big third down conversion after the fumble and keeps Carolina's offense on the field as McBride, who had success earlier on that little stretch play, gets taken down by Alvarado on only a gain of 1.
Minnesota, my goodness. Very impressed.
6 down linemen. Last time we saw this, they sent all 6. And this time it's a run. McBride up the middle, 3 yards in a cloud of dust as Blaine takes down McBride. 3rd down again.
When they blitz on the edge like Minnesota's been doing today, you want to run up the C gap and take advantage of that man who just left.
Spreading the field, 4 wide receivers, 3 wide receivers near side with 4 defenders in the area.
Here comes play action.
Quintero on the move. Has Nicholas Frostle for company. It is a play action. South somehow evades the pressure. Deep shot. Quintero, are you kidding me? Touchdown, Carolina. That's the spark they needed.
Yes, it was indeed. All day long, they've been trying to fool Minnesota with this play action. I don't think they fooled them that time as all the defenders stay home. They were in man defense. But that's just better offense by Riley Quintero. Continue to press to the outside. And it's hard chasing a receiver across the field like that. It's one thing to go deep and try to challenge them vertically, but when they're going across the field, that's a very daunting task for any defender to cover.
Who is this Carolina team? It's a completely different offense from what we saw in the first half, and it leads to an 11-play, 58-yard, over 4-minute touchdown drive, and it's back to a 10-point deficit.
Sometimes it's the little things that create the spark to give you such opportunities to come back in situations like these, and perhaps the Carolina defense can feed off that spark and make a play to get their offensive ball back.
Tita Queen on the return gets it up to the 29-yard line, and that is where Minnesota's offense will come out for the first time in the half as they look to respond. Have you ever wanted to be a play-by-play or analyst broadcaster? We are looking for passionate SFL participants or viewers like you to join the team for the next minor league season kicking off in just a few months. Please visit simulationfl.net/broadcasting for more details on how you can get involved and get your voice on the call. Minnesota will start in an I formation. They will try and throw out of it right side. It's caught by Powell, turning and spinning around and somehow finding headway up the sideline for a first down.
I don't know if that was the tailback or the fullback. Let's look on a replay, I hope. But saved Johnny Reno from getting sacked and allowed him time to get that pass off. Trevon was coming around that edge and had bad intentions.
Had he not been picked up again, Reno just been saved a couple of times in this football game. Saved again there. Handoff, Colin Hart. Stinson with the tackle for after 3 yards. And here's the big thing here, partner, is Reno has only been sacked twice coming into this game. Levon Irvine with his first career sack makes it number 3, and yet this defense continues to be on the hunt for the quarterback.
Pressure breaks pipes, and for Carolina to get back into this ball game, they're going to continue to need to put pressure on Johnny Reno.
They throw 8 men into the box with this heavy run set, and there's nothing Knox can do about it. It's been tough sledding for Isaac Knox. He's getting a rude welcome to the SFL midway through this season.
Inside linebacker Danny Stinson did not get credit for the play statistically, but he made it as he crashed through that A-gap and forced the runner to run outside.
This will bring up a third down. Minnesota with 4 wide receivers and 6 yards to go. Reno with time, looking middle, wide open, inside the 30-yard line. How do you leave Quig Mam that wide open?
Because Carolina put a safety in the box trying to take away the intermediate route, but unfortunately for them, their defensive line did not provide any pass rush and allowed that play to develop, giving them the time they need. You got a single safety high playing over the top. That's a lot of field to cover.
27 yards for Quig Mam. Now they're at the Carolina 27-yard line. 5-step drop. Reno is found. Taylor at the 15-yard line. Another first down and a pickup of 13.
It took a long time for us to call Taylor's number today, but now he's coming up with back-to-back catches on consecutive drives, starting to find his groove.
Again, this second level of Carolina's defense playing so close to the line of scrimmage, allowing these passes over their heads. Sometimes they've been able to come up with deflections, a total of 5 in the game for Carolina's defense, and other times, as we're seeing now, have allowed Minnesota to get back into the red zone. Hart with the give, right side, cuts inside, shakes 3 defenders off his tail, runs into 3 more, but that play could have easily ended for a less gain than what he got.
That slot receiver playing inside, not outside the hash marks, provides extra pass protection as well as, not pass protection, but an extra run blocker in such situations.
Corners on the outside playing more to the interior of the defense, and it's almost called in by Deezer Powell. Tristan Hatley, Johnny on the spot, denies the touchdown.
Did not get the number of the defender, but Johnny Reno had a defender in his face and forced him to throw that ball a half second earlier than he wanted to.
Big third down. If Carolina's defense holds, it could only still just be a 2-score game. 5 wide receivers here for the Minnesota legend. From Carolina's 12, Reno to throw, rolling, firing, back of the end zone, a clutch deflection from Ahmed England, and that brings up 4th down.
Gonna keep this a 2-score game with the field goal attempt here coming up. A great job by Carolina's secondary stepping up once they got into the SFL red zone.
Reno was looking for Jason France, couldn't connect, and here comes Mickey Malillo from 29 yards. He hit one from just over 30 not too long ago. 36 yards to begin the half. This one is up and good as well. 27-24, just under 3 minutes taken off the clock. Stay tuned for SFL announcements on enhancements and new features coming to the progression system, plus the location and details on the 2024 convention. The SFL is committed to improving the league and its convention each season, and the next level of play on, off, and in the pool and on the portals is coming soon. Oh, I'm excited, Eddie Gage. The convention is everything to this SFL. So many times we wonder if we can meet our heroes. Well, at the SFL convention, you can.
I look forward to it every year, and I'm sitting here waiting by my computer, looking to see where I should be booking my hotel and flight to.
And all I got to say, because I'm sworn to secrecy, but at the same time, no one is going to want to miss this convention. That is what can be said each and every year. This one, no different. A lot of exciting things coming to the SFL convention later this year.
I've heard stories.
South, will he add a story here in this game? What a deflection! Oh my goodness. Cody Griffin didn't come up with a deflection early in the ball game in which we thought he should have, partner. That one, immaculate.
We saw Cody Griffin lock down Gabriel Manning just last week. This man was 5 yards beyond the line of scrimmage, read the quarterback's eyes, and darted back and deflected that pass away. That was very impressive. Not an easy thing to do.
T. DeQueen is asking to spill the beans. All right, I'll spill a little bit of the beans. It's in the same location as an SFL franchise. Pass over the right-hand side, Riley Quintero caught. 3rd and inches coming up.
That pretty much tells us a lot, Tyler. Thanks.
Absolutely. I mean, we've only got 25 to choose from, so I mean,
that's right.
Maybe it's up in Vancouver. Maybe it's in Vancouver. Everyone's got to get a passport now. That way we can go up there and visit Brett Solberg up in Canada. As 3rd and short, McBride through the middle, easy as you would like, and rolling forward. 7-yard pickup, 1st down, Carolina.
1st down for Carolina, and I like that formation there. I think there was weak odd jokers, and you just run Ike McBride right behind the left guard, and easy pickup.
Another good-looking start to a drive for the Skyhawks. After failing to convert on their first few 3rd downs, their first 6, they have not missed a beat, converting on every one since. As Prasad, he's a little sneaky back out there as he swims through a few tackles and picks up 7 yards.
I wonder how long it took Harish to adjust from being a wide receiver to a tailback.
Well, you can say he's officially a tailback now. He's got a rushing touchdown, partner.
That is true.
2nd and 3 here for Carolina. under a minute and a half to go. McBride gets the call, running through defenders, gets an extra block, and is inside the Minnesota 40-yard line as they just continue to go, just pound the rock and punish this Minnesota defense who must be getting tired of it.
Second time this drive, we've seen Carolina come out in this weak-eyed Joker's look, and you just wonder why wasn't this called early in the ball game, because they've had a lot of success out of it.
Split backfield, minute 3 to go. South will roll. He gets rid of it in time. It hits Quintero's shoulder pads and falls to the turf. And these rollouts really have been 50-50 whether or not South has been able to find his own guy or nearly get intercepted by Minnesota.
Yeah, he had success early on, Matt South, that is, but since then, Minnesota has adapted to what they're trying to do.
Second down now. Again, Minnesota's D-line will spread to the outsides. DB's backing way off the two wide receivers as South will throw underneath. It's Quintero sneaking behind Cody Griffin and tackled by Meerkat, but it's another Skyhawk first down.
Ronnie Quintero, he ran that route as if he was a 6'4", 225-pound wide receiver, knowing he was going to get hit in traffic. But he's 5'11". You want to talk about heart? You cannot measure the heart of Ronnie Quintero.
He had that incredible touchdown catch on the last drive in between two defenders, and now nearing the 100-yard receiving mark in the ball game. And off McBride left side, and she powers through another defender. Angela Meerkat, after 7 yards, eventually brings her down, and it's Carolina back in the red zone.
One thing you don't want to get into a habit of is seeing your defensive end coming to help make tackles 7 yards downfield. Great effort by defensive end, but it's something you don't want to regularly see.
Carolina has had a much better third quarter than their entire half running the football. 59 or so yards in this half compared to 26 or thereabouts in the first half as Prasad is tackled at the line to gain. They will give him a first down and the drive continues.
Drive continues. That was a home cooking type spot. I thought he was short.
1 quarter to go in this game, which is becoming even closer by the minute. This is the SFL presented by APM Music. Over to Chris Curtis, who will tell you what our rights are.
Presentation of the Simulation Football League is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or account of the game without the express written consent of the league office is prohibited.
Thanks, Carticini. This is Tyler Falk alongside Eddie Gage here from David A. Richardson Memorial Stadium. Happy to have your company alongside Ron Haynes and Stephen Hacker in the stats truck and our SFL Commissioner Cameron Irvine in production. Thank you for taking a little bit of your Saturday evening with us in the SFL. We are glad for your company. 10 minutes to go here in regulation. The Skyhawks down by 13, need a couple scores, and it starts the quarter with a run of about 5 yards to Ike McBride.
Great recognition by Matt South. Read the blitz and ran away from it and picked up 5 yards.
Inside the 10-yard line come the Skyhawks. DBs playing deep in the end zone. Another handoff. Prasad this time, dragging defenders with him. He looks like Ike McBride powering forward. And another first down for the skinny back.
Once again, for the second time in this ball game, you took the words out of my mouth. Looking like Ike McBride out there carrying defenders 3 yards to pick up that first down.
Another long drive for Carolina. This was play number 12. Last drive, 11 plays and a touchdown. Both drives, the longest that Carolina has seen all game. McBride, right side, out of one. Can't get past Alvarado at the 2.
We haven't seen Carolina call this weak-eyed Joker's look the entire game until this drive. But on this drive, they used it exclusively, and it's benefited them every time they've dialed it up.
They'll back up the gain up to the 3-yard line as Minnesota goes into the goal line defense. I formation, 2 tight end look with 1 wide receiver top of your picture. 2nd and goal from the 3. 8.5 to go here in the final frame of regulation.
Oh,
Blitz
great
coming.
block.
Prasad is dragged down from behind the line of scrimmage. They might give him forward progress back to it, but it brings up a very tough 3rd down.
Yeah, that time they sent a man in motion, sent the tight end away from the strong side of the field. Should have kept him there because they had too many men to account for, and Ike never stood a chance.
Carolina need a touchdown. 3rd and goal. South under center. 6 down linemen for the legend. This might have to be a quick play as Minnesota might send the house. It'll be a run for McBride through the middle. Can she fight forward? No, she cannot. Adrian Blaine brings down McBride, and it's 4th down.
Minnesota elected to use a zone defense, keep everybody home, and force Matt South to beat him with his arm.
And for another time, Matt South unable to do so as he was given the ball off to McBride instead. That long drive ends in a field goal when it was hoping and wishing for a touchdown, but it still brings the game back to within 10 points. As we want to remind you that APM Music is unrivaled music to bring your stories to life, inspiring every production with the world's most robust and constantly refreshed music collection, state-of-the-art technology, and world-class customer service. APM Music is the official soundtrack of the Simulation Football League. To explore their library and to find the perfect tracks for your projects, visit apmmusic.com. The return from Quag Mam gets all the way up to the 26-yard line. Here comes Minnesota offense, who we know, partner, can melt away a game clock like nobody's business.
Yeah.
And they're going to be called on to do that here once more with 7:24 to go.
3 wide receivers and Jason France on the field. Looks like they have a plan on passing the ball here. Let's see.
They move Powell from outside receiver on the right to slot receiver on the left. There'll be a pitch play, and the defense got home quickly. Stinson and Kevin Thomas bring down the dangerous Colin Hart.
We've been calling Danny Stinson's name throughout this entire ball game.
2nd and 10. 3 wide on the left. Reno rolls in that direction. Looking that way. Open is Taylor! Untouched and unguarded is going to flip the field to the 37-yard line.
You want to know what the definition of flooding the zone is? That play was it right there. Carolina came out in a 4-3 look. Minnesota flooded the zone with 3 receivers on the strong side of the field. It's just too many men to account for. Easy 1st down for Minnesota.
They'll flip that formation. Now there's a trio of wide receivers near side. It will be a run up the middle for Colin Hart, who gains 3. Stinson brings him down. The clock beginning to become a factor here.
6.5 left in this ball game.
Previous pass went for 37 yards for Taylor. They look to throw here. Pass near side. Maybe a touch overthrown. Great defense this time around from Carolina, forcing 3rd down.
I'm not going to call out the jersey number, but that was a business decision because the receiver let up.
Here comes 3rd down. Here for Minnesota's offense, Carolina's defense. Carolina need a stop in the worst way. A 1st down almost guarantees a field goal attempt. Reno gets taken down by Christopher Cologne. That's the play on defense that Carolina needed.
Gonna force a punt, and there is still life left for Carolina. You want to talk about a sack needed at a more opportune time than that? I can't think of one, but Carolina found it and is going to force a punt and its offense still has a chance.
That sack ties Rhett Sawyer at 5th all-time with 93 sacks for Christopher Cologne in his 13-season career, and it couldn't have come at a better time, as we have just so lauded to. And that, Christian Bachkalupe jumping, the catch is fair caught at the 18-yard line, 5:41 to go, and now Carolina, even a field goal on this drive helps them, instead of last drive where we were thinking it might hurt them, partner.
Yeah, but they got to make it happen, and they got to make it happen right now. But they still have a chance, Tyler.
Minnesota's offense just been stuttering the last couple of drives, and that run for Carolina, meanwhile, Ike McBride unable to find any way forward, gets stuck behind her line.
Angela Meerkat, we said it earlier in this ball game, but this time it's her turn. Did not make the tackle, but she made the play. She stood up the right tackle and pushed him about a yard back into the backfield.
What that play does is keeps Minnesota's defense honest. You now know that they're going to try and run their offense and run the football a little bit, but that time they needed a little bit more expected. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, wow. No. Harish Prasad. We've seen this way too often, unfortunately, for Prasad.
Way too often, and so have these fans. And the way he's walking off the sidelines, it does not look like he'll be returning to this game.
That's a shame. He was having such a good one. Gets his first rushing touchdown as a halfback, and now comes off the field injured. 3rd and 9, meanwhile. 4 wide receivers for the Skyhawks. Play action. Blitz from the outside coming. South has to tuck it and run, and they can't get back to the line of scrimmage. Taken down behind the line, Mark Mello. Another sack, the 4th sack for Minnesota tonight.
And looking at Minnesota's playbook on this last play, they took a page out of Florida's defense, and it worked magnificently.
And so, thinking that Carolina might have a little bit more time, they're going to have to punt and trust that defense once more. Here comes DeQueen on the return. Very minimal gain, maybe 2 or 3 yards from DeQueen. And Carolina's defense goes back onto the field again in a very pressure cooker-like scenario.
4:43 left. Carolina does have all 3 timeouts. Expect a heavy diet of the run game here for Minnesota.
Another run. Here comes Colin Hart, left side, taken down by Shravan Prasad and company after a gain of 1. Meanwhile, over in Los Angeles, that game has been quite stagnant as well. That game reaching the middle point of the 4th quarter. Still 13-3 Charleston with a 10-point lead as well. 2 games with 10-point leads. But which side will maintain their advantage? Handoff middle. There is the better run from Isaac Knox. And he gets close to the first down marker near the 35-yard line. But no further. His best run of the night.
His best run of the night, but wow, you want to talk about, do not look at that tape if you're a running back, because he was standing straight up, almost running downfield, and that's an injury waiting to happen. He needs to lower those shoulders.
Probably the biggest 3rd down of the night. 9 defenders in the box for Carolina against this goal line set. They try and run, and it's an easy run for Hart. The offensive line created just a hole wide enough for Hart to run through. It's first down at the 30-yard line.
Within field goal range now, but right now, Minnesota's more concerned about burning this clock out.
Here come the legend. Under 3.5 to go now in regulation. And it looks like they're just going to be running the football through Carolina's defense. They need a stop. And Knox cuts back inside and is going to lose a half a yard maybe.
Yeah, the rookie in this situation, once he gains more experience and talking to his coaches, he'll get better at that. But sometimes finding that hole in the gap is something you just cannot teach. You either have it or you don't. But I'm certain his coaches will get with him as the season goes along and get that cleaned up.
Potentially the final play before the 2-minute warning. Minnesota's offense with a strong side to the right-hand side of their offense. Coverage backs off. It's a fake halfback flip out to Hart, and Hart powers through for 3 yards. And that brings up third down.
Don't see a lot of teams running that fake dive, weak toss, I think it's called, play, but Minnesota found a way to pick up 3 yards out of it.
And that will take us to the 2-minute warning here from David A. Richardson Memorial Stadium. 27-17. Can Minnesota hold on, or does Carolina have a little bit of magic left in the tank? Minnesota come out with 3 wide receivers, and they will run up the middle. Colin Hart is stopped at the 24-yard line. They will call a timeout, will Carolina, and now a field goal opportunity for Mickey Melillo, who has not missed a field goal in this season. 8 of 8, including 2 tonight. To hit 30. Snap, spot, kick is up, and it sails straight down Main Street. 30-17. Now here for Minnesota. He did, Mickey, miss a extra point, but did not miss a field goal. And that brings it still to a 13-point spread between these two clubs.
He had an extra point, hit the crossbar? Huh. Wow. Wayne must have been howling.
Absolutely. Here comes the return from Chase Earl. Looking near side, nearly got out of a tackle but couldn't. He's down at the 31-yard line. Pressure's on now, partner. 30-17. You need touchdowns, no field goals.
Can't settle for field goals. You're right. It's all or nothing time now. Down 13 points, 2 touchdowns. You already burned one of your timeouts. You need a lot of things to happen on your side.
Four wide receivers with Vince DeSantis, the tight end, on the line to the left. Minnesota's defense has to be expecting pass now.
Yes.
Roll out near side, firm south, looking middle, caught Quintero on the logo. First down and more as they call timeout.
I like that formation there by Carolina.
Quintero now over 100 yards. That's his first. Only his second career 100-plus yard game in the 2K era, partner. As South will look to throw, looking for DeSantis near side, and just overshoots him. And check that was just Chris Curtis, not DeSantis.
Very physical with these receivers at the line of scrimmage, not allowing a clean release.
Minute 38 to go. Here for the Skyhawks. Again, they come out with a familiar 4 wide receiver, 1 tight end look. Pachacalupe in motion near side, has 4 defenders in the area for company. They will send 2 on the blitz. South looks, finds DeSantis inside the Minnesota 40-yard line. Final timeout called by Carolina. It's a mad dash to the finish as we quickly go to SFL headquarters for a game break.
Thank you, Tyler. Finally, one of these offenses able to break through in the second half. Rookie Brennan Stahl is into the end zone. That was Logan Chack the play before, but it's now 13-10. Charleston holding on to a 3-point lead. Back to you in Raleigh.
Thank you, Cam. South will look to throw on first down and cannot find Christian Bacigalupe. Incomplete. Tomorrow night, SFL action on YouTube begins with a rematch of the Season 21 semifinal between Florida and Alamo City at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Other games include Queen City and Motor City, with Denver and Vancouver and Houston and Portland also on the card. For the full schedule and kickoff dates and times, visit simulationfl.net. Empty backfield again here from South on second down. Curtis will be the man in motion to the top of your picture. Under a minute and a half to go here in regulation. Carolina with no timeouts. Need touchdowns. South unloads underneath. And it's nearly taken away by Stephen Black, and that would have sealed it.
You know, I like how Minnesota has expanded their defensive playbook this week. Not sure if they've done it previously, but they've definitely taken a page out of Florida's defensive playbook.
4 wide and a back this time for Carolina. 4 down territory. Corners showing blitz on the outside. Six-man rush. South couldn't find Curtis. Incomplete. 4th and ball game.
Didn't have time. Like you said, they brought both slot corners up on the line of scrimmage, and as soon as the H and hike came out of Matt South's mouth, they were hunting them down.
It might be the Houtland Flat Hat Hunters before long after what I said. 4th and 10 now here for the Skyhawks. On the 39-yard line, South will back to throw, looking right side. It's caught by Quintero, but it's 2 yards short. Carolina are going to fall. Their homestand falls on the 3rd game. Minnesota now on a 4-game win streak.
Minnesota's secondary played well today, but they have to give credit to their defensive line, who continuously put pressure on Matt South. They didn't always get home, but the pressure they provided forced a bunch of bad throws.
They didn't get home all the time, but when they did, you felt it. 4 sacks for this Minnesota defense, and just an onslaught of pressure on Matt South tonight. A tremendous effort from Minnesota's defense, including an interception from Alvarado, a couple of great plays from Nicholas Frossold to be mentioned. But it wasn't the run game, partner, that really led this offense. It was the air attack that really kicked into high gear late in that second quarter.
I totally agree with you. The run game for Minnesota was relatively held in check. 46 yards by Connor Hart unofficially, 8 yards by Justin Williams, and another 12 by Isaac Knox. But the passing game, Johnny Reno, not sure what he had for breakfast, but I want some of that.
So a good day of football all around. Starting here in the SFL, we have more SFL action continuing tonight. Not Denver. That comes tomorrow. What am I talking about? Cameron Duty and Mark Lopez will be on the call for Louisiana and Seattle coming up at the 9 o'clock hour Eastern time. And in the undercard, Damon Simeon and Eric Vinson will have Baltimore and Mexico City, an old rivalry renewed. Partner, this has been fun. I'm glad I got to talk to Damon Simeon out of calling a game with you. This was great to be back in the booth with you. I had a blast. Hope you had fun too. I hope everybody here at home enjoyed the call. Minnesota wins 30-17, and they move to 4-1. And that Central Division, your Central Division rivals, partner, looking very, very tough at the moment.
Absolutely. Axel Raven had a down year last season, But I knew he would get things together because he's just too passionate about turning things around. You can tell he's been in a lab all year. And as BJ said, 3 straight road games, 3 straight road wins for this Minnesota franchise. A proud moment for Axel and company.
Absolutely. It's the mark of a team that you must take into account, that you are not going to be able to rely on your 12th man advantage. You have to be ready for them, and they did just that. Riley Quintero, the only receiver over 100 yards today, partner, but I want your player of the game, if we could even choose one out of this stacked Minnesota lineup.
I'm going with Johnny Reno. Like we said earlier, he had a bad beginning to this ball game early on in that first quarter, but he turned around, shook off the cobwebs. I'm not sure if he had someone slap him upside the head or what to get him going, but once he got going, this Minnesota offense, despite that lack of a run game, was hard to contain.
30-17, our final score here from David A. Richardson Memorial Stadium. For more SFL content, news, and highlights and updates, please visit simulationfl.net. For my partner Eddie Gage and our statisticians Ron Haynes and Stephen Hacker, I've been Tyler Falk. More football to come. We hope to see you there. Until then, good morning, good afternoon, and good night.
Arizona, I love y'all. Yo, that loss last week was on me. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. Bad game plan, but more importantly, shout out to Chad and company for getting that thing turned around and getting the W. I got to improve because that loss was unacceptable. We're going to bounce back, y'all. We got a tough slate of games coming up against some heavy hitters, but I look forward to the challenge. Let's go get it.